Okay, we're recording. So like I said, this is going to go up to YouTube at some point soon, and just to help people that weren't able to be here to get all the questions and answers. So if I could get everybody to mute their mics, I'm going to be watching the tournament questions tab or channel for any questions you guys might have. I'll start with the questions that somebody already asked. A couple people have already asked. So specifically, they asked already how the bracket works, the time zone and seeding and all that, the quote-unquote designated attacker rule, siege engines and the attacker rule, replay submission, and camping. Those were a couple of the questions. So I am going to share my screen and show you the bracket because it is ready. One person hasn't given me their time zone yet, so that means it's too bad for them. So here you can see because we have more than 32, there's going to be 3 matches that are played to start, just to get everybody into where they need to go for the next round. So basically, first matches will be between Uliu and Lich King, Triple Z and John, Noob and Kono, Noob and Musketeers 177. So basically, everything got random. I took everybody's names, plugged them into the participants list, and then hit randomize. And then once I got the time zones for everyone, I started matching people up closer to time zones. So you shouldn't be more than hopefully 2 hours difference between you and your first opponent. I felt this was particularly important for the people in Europe, South America, and Southeast Asia, just to try to limit lag and make it easier to coordinate your first few matches. So the rest of the bracket is here. The challenge website for the tournament is now posted in the questions tab or questions channel. That is where you can go. You can take a look at it and sort of track your way. As I get results, I'm going to be plugging the results in, and you'll see where you'll end up. If you lose in the first round, you're going to get dropped down to the loser's side. So you'll have the loser of game 16 against the loser of game 1. The loser of that one drops out and continues on. So every time you lose, even after the first round, if you lost game 31, which is in the third round, you would go down to this game here, game number 39, and you'll be facing the winner of these two. So you can go all the way through. You can lose you can lose once and win in the loser's final, and then you'll come up and play the winner of the winner's bracket. And if you beat the person in the winner's bracket, you have to beat them again because they have to lose twice to be eliminated. So, and for those who've just joined, please mute your microphones. If you have any questions, you can post them in the questions channel. So that is the challenge website. As I mentioned, the link is in the chat. Next thing, the designated attacker rule. That was one that a few people had questions about. So you'll have to decide amongst yourselves when you get your assignments, when you get your first match. What'll happen is you'll decide, okay, I'm going to be the attacker this round or this match. The next game that we fight, you're going to be the designated attacker. So that means if that is your role, if you are the attacker, you must always be moving to attack, whether it's skirmishing with missile units, moving to flank, moving to engage, and pulling back into a trap. As long as you're not if you're the attacker, you can't sit on a hill and wait for the enemy to come to you. The next thing was, if all you have left are cavalry, then you are now the designated attacker. If all you have left is cavalry, your opponent can, if they want, sit there and wait for you. So The whole idea behind the attacker rule is to make sure that we always have somebody attacking. We don't have two people sitting there and camping. The defender is allowed to attack. If they don't feel like sitting and defending, they can go out and attack and basically counter every single movement that the quote unquote attacker is doing. So I know for the first couple rounds it might be a little bit difficult for some people to sort of work it into it, but if you follow the simple idea of just move to engage, move to counter, or move to force your opponent into doing something, if both people are doing that, you can end up with having a really good battle. I'm going to do this next one, and then I'll get to some of the questions that have popped up in the questions channel. Siege engines and the attacker rule. So if you have brought, say, fire rockets, or if you felt the need to bring the European cannon for some reason, you can, if you are the attacker, you can empty the ammunition and then attack, because you are technically skirmishing. You just happen to be skirmishing from 1.5 miles away. So you can use all your ammunition and then attack. Or if you have fire rockets, you can just sneak them through the trees, and you can attack that way. So aren't the key buildings supposed to be there to prevent camping? The key buildings are just there for both of you to fight over, really. So if one person takes a key building, it's highly advisable for someone to take the other one and then start fighting, kind of thing. So, okay, Samurai Extra has a question. You can either type it or you can say it. It's your choice.
So there is the whole thing about attackers. Whoever the attacker is having to be, having an active unit. Is like there a minimum? Like, is it just I need to have at least one? If I'm an attacker, right? Do I have to have at least just like one unit active doing something, or more than one?
It's your choice. Again, personally, the idea was just for more of the people that like to play defensively and only like to play defensively. So if I know there are quite a few players in here who will move multiple units all the time to attack. You rarely see only one unit moving. And if you don't see any units moving, that means that they've got units moving and hiding. So you should be ready. You should be looking for a trap. You should be looking for an ambush. So
okay, because I was playing a few matches the other day, and I was the attacker, and I assumed that the rule, because I think it says it actually in the rules at least one unit.
Yeah.
And so I just had my cav doing its own thing while the rest of my army sat on a hill and forced, or I guess it didn't force, but I just, in essence, 99% of my army was camping, if you will, because you were sitting on a hill. But I could still make it work as an attacker. So I was wondering if that's like not really encouraged.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to have just one unit moving around, I suppose. I
can sort of relate to you, Samurai Extra. So whenever I was doing a practice battle with Ranger, I took like one key building, he took one key building, and we were kind of we were on I believe rice field, so it was like a very flat and balanced map. But it was mainly me and him skirmishing each other, and I was using cavalry to harass him and matchlocks. So if that's what you mean, like you want to just harass him for a bit before, committing your army, I think that's fine, but I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
We should talk about the key buildings some more.
Yeah, so key buildings must be enabled. The idea behind them is to sort of remove the need to have the the designated attacker rule. If you have the key buildings, if you've taken all three key buildings, you can sit and wait out your opponent. So use the key buildings as the number one thing, then use the attacker rule as number two, if that helps. So take the key buildings, fight over the key buildings, and then if you both end up camping, fall back to whoever's supposed to be the attacker has to be attacking. Use the designated attacker as a secondary to going for the key buildings to take them. Does that make sense?
Sounds good.
Okay. Good. 2 questions about max on Nodachi Samurai. That's a good question. I've never thought of having to have a max on Nodachis because of how micro intensive they have to be. The only way they're here, I'll get Fallen to unmute himself, and then Fallen, just unmute yourself, and then sort of give me that question again, and we'll. I sort of want to hear all of it instead of just the typing.
Yeah. So basically, what I've noticed is that it's really easy for people to bring a lot of Nodachis. I know that they're easily counterable with cavalry and ranged units, but just maybe suggesting that we put a max on 4 Nodachi or something, because that's what I typically would bring in the battle anyways. So possibly putting a max of 4 Nodachis or possibly 5 might balance it a little bit more, but I don't know. You'd have to base on everyone else's opinion. That's just a personal thing.
Okay. Okay, you can mute yourself, Musketeer. You wanna give me a few more details?
Like basically what Fallen said. When me and Fallen were pretty much doing our practice rounds, basically when me and Fallen were doing our practice rounds, like you said, he brought 4. I pretty much brought at least 2. They're like really hard to break, at least in my end of the thing. So I was wondering if we could like put some limit on the amount of Nodachi. So like, let's say somebody decides to bring like 6 freaking Nodachi or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Bonsai makes them immune to morale damage.
That's true. Okay, so if you guys mute yourselves up again, I never really saw the need for it, honestly. If you guys want a limit, I am sure we can put that limit on. Okay, so if people want to have a max of 4 units of Nodachis, I think we can put that in.
So I could just interject here.
Sure.
It's kind of what you said about they're so big to micro. I think it would be interesting to allow people to bring as many as they want and have it be that idea of, I don't know what they're bringing. Maybe I should organize my army to defend against if they decide to stack a ton of Nodachi. Instead of putting a limit on it, it may actually go a bit more to have you create a more thought out build, because you are trying to prevent if someone else stacks Nodachi.
If you guys want to do a vote, type in who wants a limit on Nodachis and who wants no limit on Nodachis. Here there's, if you use the Tokugawa symbol under Nulric's last chat there, that's no Nodachi limit. Nodachi limit, yes. If you use the Uesugi Mon, that's no limit on Nodachis. So I'll just watch the vote counter instead of scrolling through and looking for names. Nulric, you had a question about, are we going to play on realistic mode?
That wasn't my question. That was a different question asked earlier, but it's one we should probably talk about.
Okay, what's realistic mode? Please describe.
No camera, and you can only like fly your view away so far from any of your men. Sorry, no radar.
Yeah. Oh, and no radar. Oh.
It's only on legendary battle difficulty, though.
Okay.
No, you can set that
as
like a second. Just force on legendary.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that for custom battles.
So I'm thinking based on the wide variety of skill level that's in the tournament, probably doing that would be a bad idea. Because I know there are some players that are newer than others that would we'd be hamstringing them if we got rid of the radar, if we got rid of if we went on realistic mode. I think we would be hamstringing a few too many people. So Yeah, I'm thinking we keep it as just normal difficulty, keep the radar on, that kind of thing. Just to make it as, just to give everyone at least some kind of a chance. Yeah, Stolen, you had a question.
Yeah. It's about the maps. Are we gonna also, is there also a rule against some maps that we can't choose because it's too campy or something?
No. The rules for the maps. Basically, any map is fair as long as it's a land battle. As long as it's one that's put out by Creative Assembly and not one you have to download. So that way both players have them. So I will give you a link and post it in the chat of the land map battle list. So that is the list of available maps. It does say Fall of the Samurai, but it's all the same maps for regular Shogun 2. The only map that can't be chosen is the one called Chugoku River. That is the tie-breaking map, not Chigoku. Chugoku is the one that has, it's basically a diamond-shaped island with river on both sides of it. The one that Nulric just typed into the chat. So if both players win one game each, you go to a tiebreaker. That is the map you must choose. You also, for that match only, the weather must be normal, must be summer, and must be daytime. That is correct, Triple. It's the one with the water on the edges of the map. So yeah, daytime, summer, normal weather. So no fog, no rain, no snow. For the battles that you're picking the maps, you can pick any season, any weather, day or night. The one thing that you need to consider, if you've got lag problems, then you'll need to rechange the season and you'll need to change the weather. So that's just something to keep in mind. Good question, Mr. Pius. So when you send a replay, it has to basically be written like that. So round 1, player name, their clan abbreviation, which in this case player F was Ito, versus player A, who is Sagara. So it's going to be round 1, F Ito versus A Sagara, game 1. If the replay save section in Shogun 2 does not give you the option to make the name that long, that's okay. Remove spaces, and you can abbreviate your Discord name if you need to. As long as I've got it coming from one of the two players in the match, I'll be able to figure out who they were playing. Triple Z has a question. Go.
Okay, say you catch your opponent bringing like an illegal unit or an army or something. Do you still fight the battle out?
Fight the battle out, because if you win, it doesn't matter. Fight the battle out. If you lose and your opponent has brought an illegal army, as in bringing too many of one unit or too many of too many units, it's an automatic loss. So how does one get out of the reserves? Good question. If we have someone drop out of the tournament, for whatever reason, it's already happened a couple times, we'll go in order of the people who have joined as reserves. So right now, I'm going to go to the reserve channel, or to the tournament sign up. So right now, Fallen would be the first. If somebody else drops out after, it would be Vilvast. And after that, it would be Fanos. And then after that, it would be, I have no idea what that says. And then Trevbot, and down the list. Yeah, sorry. That is a really, I have no idea what. That is a language I do not understand, man. I'm sorry.
Good.
So, yeah, that's how it works. So if, for instance, for some reason Julie dropped out, then Fallen Comrade would be in. If White Wolf dropped out, then Vilvast, and so on and so forth. It'll be 36 hours from the time your name is pinged to respond that you're willing to jump in. And then what'll happen is Julie drops out. After completing round 1, then we will invite Fallen Comrade to take his place in round 3. if Julie had lost his first match and dropped out, which would be unfortunate, we don't want people to drop out just after a loss, but so Fallen, you would enter into the fall into the loser of 16's spot, which would be Julie's spot. That would mean, however, if he lost that match, he would be eliminated. That is the one thing. The one risk you take as being a reserve is you may end up in the losers bracket where one match loss eliminates you. Okay, next question. How do we know Triple Z is not going to use hacks? I would imagine
it's a very valid question. I'm curious myself.
Well, he can't bring any of his magic units because it's not Avatar Conquest.
Yeah. Just so everyone realizes, Triple Z, who is going to be showing battle replays on his channel, is also participating in the tournament. Don't worry, there is no foul play there. He's just a part of the tournament too.
Yep. But he is not officiating in any way. He does know the rules fairly well because he was one of the people that helped test them. Nulric, do you have anything to add?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I have one more question.
All right.
What happens if your opponent is offline and you can't contact them? I think I already posted this question in chat.
So if your opponent, we're going to ping everyone again and let them know that starting on the 5th, let them know that you have from the 5th to the 9th to get your matches in. You have to respond to your opponent. If, for whatever reason, your opponent does not respond to you on or before the 9th, let us know and we'll proceed from there. If we can't get a hold of the person, like if it's Thursday and you still haven't heard back, let us know, and then we will try to get a hold of your opponent. And depending on what happens, then we'll make changes as necessary. If we have to advance you or take someone from reserves to take their place, we'll let you know.
I think if no one like us and you don't hear back from them until if they respond by Sunday, I think that's too late then. Yep. Because that could be too late for you too. So if no one hears anything back by like Saturday throughout the round, Saturday might be the cutoff day.
Yeah, I think so. And then we would just bring in one of the reserves to take their place, and you would fight the reserve. I think that's. You think that's fair, Nulric? You think that works, Nulric? If we bring in a reserve to take their place?
At least for the first week, because after the first week, then I don't think we want to bring in reserves like several weeks into the tournament, just because then it's like they didn't get their way up, like everyone else.
Yeah, I would say, especially after round 3, wouldn't want to bring any reserves in. I think round 3 would be the last. Stupid mouse. I think round 3 would be the last one where you'd bring in reserves. So, yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to push it.
I know this is a thing in other tournaments, or at least I've seen in some tournaments, but I think sometimes there's people who win quite a bit into the tournament, and then if they drop out, you just take the last player they beat to fill that spot. I've seen that be the case as well.
Yeah, we could do that.
Or something like that. It's like whoever they beat last takes their spot in the tournament instead. So say it's like, someone makes it 4 rounds in, right? But then they're like, oh, I can't participate anymore. Like I have to leave the tournament and no one's beaten them or something. Then you just put the person they beat in round 3 in their place for round 4. I've seen that be the case. So I don't know what Nulric or your thoughts are on that.
I think logistically we could do that. It does require some finagling on the losers bracket, but it could work that way. That could be one of the things that happens. Yeah. I'm kind of open-ended on that. If somebody has, Nulric, if you have a better idea on how to do that.
I'd say whatever works easiest for you and works best within the system of the losers bracket, I think is the route we should go.
Okay. I think so too. So more than likely, I think Triple, your idea would work. It's just as long as I can make sure that the people on the losers bracket don't get either don't get an unfair advantage or don't get screwed over one way or another. So as long as I can keep it fair for everyone, I'm fine with doing that. So, but does anyone else have any questions? Because we might actually be near the end. So, okay, Anito's good. So I'll just do a quick roll call then. Anito's good. Huey, do you have any questions? You can just unmute yourself if you have a question. Okay, J-Dog, do you have a question? You can unmute if you do. Julie, do you have a question? Lich King question? Musketeer, do you have a question? Yes, no?
I don't think I have any other questions.
Okay, perfect. Pius, question?
Just skip that over.
Nulric, questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay. See, I did ask, and originally you said no. Stalin, do you have any questions?
Nope.
I did cover replay submission. The Cole's notes is there's going to be 2 videos uploaded soon that will go live, and they'll cover the whole how-to for the replay submission. The general idea being I don't want to get any personal information from anyone, so if you do the Dropbox way, you need to make a throwaway account. So it would be, in your case, lichking65 at Gmail or Hotmail or live.com, whatever, and that's the account you would use to submit the Dropbox. Or you can drag and drop into the replay submission channel when it's unlocked. Like I said, there will be 2 videos that go up for that, explaining it, the 2 different ways. Samurai Extra, do you have any questions? I'll take your silence as a no. Saint Stalin, questions? No? Yes?
I already said it, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Triple Z, question?
Nope.
Vilvast, question?
Now you got to pronounce the last one.
I have no idea how to pronounce the last one, so last one on the list.
Black.
Just a belch. Awesome. Thank you. That was well brought up.
Started in
My name is pronounced
Or
Willie.
just the word
Oh,
name.
Willie. Willie. Okay. Sorry, what was that? I missed that. Sorry. Sorry, last guy on the list there. I missed your comment. Sorry.
Nothing important.
Oh, okay. Question: failure means seppuku. We're not supposed to encourage seppuku on this channel, on this Discord. So, the
Not
Shogun has
openly.
just said. Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, but not openly.
Yeah, not openly. The video link for submission doesn't work because it's not live yet. It will be live later this week. So it's deliberately not live because I don't want to give too much information all at once. So either that or Sudoku. All right, it appears the chat's running away on this one, so I think that's it. I'm going to stop recording now. And yeah, so thanks again for coming, and hope you guys were able to get the information you needed. If any questions pop into the back of your heads after, just again post in the questions channel, or if you're one of the challengers, you can post in the challengers chat. Reservists will keep you up to date as much as we can, and good luck everyone, and we'll start seeing you guys fight in a week, so practice up, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much.